have from South Dakota State, we have Katie Lingle, Steph Pollock, Jenny Sutterboard, and Coach Aaron Johnston. Just a reminder, those of you here, to please turn off your cell phones. We'll begin with an opening statement from Coach Johnston, then after that, questions for the players only. Then we'll dismiss the players, and you can ask your questions to Coach Johnston. So, Coach, an opening statement.
Well, good first start for us. It's always difficult at times to get that first game in this kind of event. It's a lot leading up to it. People have been talking about it for a while, not just the last 24 hours. And as players and coaches, you kind of wait for it to come. So you never know how you're going to come out and respond. I thought we played really well. Defended really well throughout the entire game. Offensively, I thought we were very good. Shot the ball well. First half, we just turned it over too many times. I think we had 10 turnovers in the first half. And as we took better care of the ball, I thought our offense was very good in the second half.
All right, questions for just the players.
Jenny, it seemed like you guys were you nervous coming out? You missed, I think, your first 5 shots, and you went to some subs and stuff. What do you attribute kind of the slow start to?
I think coming into the tournament, you're always going to have a little first game jitters, and it's also good, but also bad at times. And we don't miss a few shots. It didn't set us back at all. We were ready to go. We just had to put the ball in the basket a few times to get our confidence going.
Katie, your subs were really good. Watching the starters struggle a little bit, did that help get rid of your nerves? Did you guys come in there and feel like you had to make something happen?
Well, yeah, I guess anytime you see your teammates struggle, well, not necessarily struggling, but coming out a little bit flat, you know what you need to do and how much energy you kind of need to bring to the court. And so I think we, as a bench, really provided a lot of fire to our group.
Steph, do you guys sometimes feel like you're the #1 seed, but your second group is could almost be your first group, and maybe still win the league title? I mean, you just have different depth than most.
Yeah, they're good. We're really deep, and that's exciting. It's nice. Ashley got in foul trouble. We were able to still do pretty well in the first half. But yeah, just our starters, our bench, everyone does a good job of coming out, playing their role, and just working hard.
Both Jenny and Katie, Rosado got the first 2 baskets for them, and then you shut her down the rest of the half and for most of the game. What did you guys do after those first couple baskets for her to take her out of the game?
I think we just knew how we needed to defend her. We needed to get in front of her so that she couldn't get the ball in the first place, and I think once we locked into that idea of not letting her get the ball in the first place, that really helped us to just shut her down, I guess.
Any other questions for the players?
Jenny, you guys, I know you don't know who you play yet, but your thoughts on the semifinals, and you guys remain undefeated here, and you won comfortably enough where you didn't get worn down at all night. You had a day off. Just your thoughts on where you guys are at now heading to the semis.
Yeah, we're going to go back to practice tomorrow, being ready to go, and we can't let just the first win get content or anything. You have to come out every single game like it's our first. And, we just have to play every single game like we have this whole season. We've been consistent. We have had our good offensive possessions, our good defensive possessions. We got to put 2 and 2 together and, be ready to go on Monday afternoon and see what happens.
One more. Steph, you guys are going back, right? You're going to Brookings?
We are, yes.
And the men are staying here. You guys are doing it the other way. What do you like about it? You've done that before. What do you like about going back? What's that like to kind of get out of here for a couple days?
Yeah, I haven't done it before. I've heard good things about it. It's just nice to be able to go practicing for us. It's home to us. Maybe just get familiar with the shots and shooting again. But also just being like in the environment of Brookings at our own homes and stuff like that.
Steph, you talk about the home state atmosphere here. I know you've seen it before at the Summer League tournament, but still it's got to be kind of a fresh vision every time you walk out and see that sort of support for a game like this.
Yeah, it's awesome. We draw a good crowd, and that's exciting and fun to have. They've done a good job to support us in Brookings and here. It's amazing. And every time just clapping in the school song, it's fun to look up in the stands, see your family, friends, but just the randoms too, the supporters that have been there along the whole time.
Anything else for the players? All right, ladies, you are dismissed. All right, and now any questions for Coach Johnson?
AJ, did you feel like Tara was kind of the one that got things, unbottled for you then?
Yeah, she was a good spark for us. Ashley got in foul trouble, and Tara's been good in a lot of games. I think everybody has a lot of confidence in Tara. The other thing about our stars, we missed 3 layups. It wasn't like we were playing poorly, we just missed 3 shots. And you make those 3 layups, and I don't think people feel like we were quite as sluggish. So when I see a team that's sluggish, it's a team that can't get shots, isn't executing. I don't know that was exactly the case. We just didn't finish some plays. And that's what we talked about in our timeouts and our huddles. Hey, you're playing great, you get the shots we want, we just have to keep going. So, but when Ashley got in foul trouble, Tara was a good spark. She's really aggressive. They get a little spread out in their defense, and Tara's pretty good at attacking the basket, and that suits her style well.
How important was it to get that separation in the second half? You don't want to get into some sort of alley fight in the first round. You'd like to have a little breathing room to spread out the playing time a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you never know how games are going to go. You never feel like these games are in doubt until they're over either. So, it was just really a physical, tough game. It was going to take the full 40 minutes. In terms of the minutes go, I'm looking at them right now, and they look fairly similar to what they would always look like. So I don't know that we had a different approach in the second half. Ashley minutes were down, but that was due to foul trouble. But the majority of the minutes for everybody else were pretty similar to all of our games. And that's more about our depth and our bench than how the game went.
That's the same thing, but I asked Steph about the atmosphere here, and I know it's something you're asked every time you come here, but it seems like you still have to have kind of an appreciation level for it, don't you?
Yeah, I think appreciation of fans is always important. I think we appreciate them in Brookings, we appreciate them here. We had a bunch of people down in Kansas City when we played this year. We appreciated them down there. You just have a group of people that are passionate about student athletes at South Dakota State in a lot of different sports, and that's something that I don't think our players will ever take for granted.
AJ, when you today was Tara that was the spark. You've got a whole bunch of different options on the bench. Is it game plan a lot of times that determines who you go to that day, or do you sort of try everybody and feel it out, get a sense for kind of who's on? How do you differentiate, given that you have so many sort of options off the bench?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm a field player, or I don't know. I can't answer that, but today foul trouble dictated it. For instance, Tara's minutes were a little bit more because of a little bit of foul trouble. Sometimes we look for matchups. We toyed in the first half with Jenny and Katie together. I didn't thought that was great for us because of how they can spread us out defensively, and I didn't feel like Jenny on the perimeter was a great matchup for us. We kind of toyed with Gabby and Jill at the same time to see what that brings to the table. So there's probably a few different things that we look at early in games to see if we want to come back to them. But also, I'm just someone that looks for a lot of aggressions from our players, and I think they realize if they don't have that, we're probably going to try somebody else pretty quick.
AJ, one more thing about the home state support. How much do you think that has to do with the fact you've got a lot of homegrown talent on the squad? You've always recruited extremely well in South Dakota. Obviously, that adds to the connection that the fans have. They see these girls play in high school, right?
Yeah, I think it does. I think 2 things kind of build that connection. One is you have to be good. You have to be successful. It doesn't matter how many kids from South Dakota we have. If we're not successful, it's not a product people want to watch. So that's always the bottom line. This team has been successful for a long time, and people are excited about that. And then when you add in the fact that they can come and watch Jill Young play, who maybe they watched as a youngster, and they can watch Ashley Ivy and Tara Heiser, Steph Pollock, all those players, then it's an added bonus. We've had a lot of small town South Dakota players where the big event on Saturday is to go to Brookings and watch their chosen one play at SDSU, and so you got to have both though. You can't have one without the success and those local players.
AJ, same thing I asked the players. Just your thoughts on moving to the semis and going home, kind of what you think the benefits are of that, and how it's sort of reflected in the past.
Yeah, I think everybody thinks that we go home and go to the spa for a day, and it's not the case. We go home and we practice. It's not really a day off, and everyone always talks about the 1 and 2 seeds. If they win, get that day. We practice, so we go as long as everybody else goes. It's just the idea of maybe getting out of a hotel. There's a lot of people down here. Our players can't walk around without having 4,000 friends. It just gets them away from the hoopla that goes into this event. So I think they kind of appreciate that day off to decompress and practice and be ready to go again.
Not knowing who you play yet, do you guys wait to practice till after you find that out?
We do. We kind of start right about when that game's going. This time of year, we don't make a lot of big changes. We'll spend a few minutes towards the end of practice talking about whatever team it is. So we could do it. I think the first year we did it, we actually practiced at noon. We didn't know. We just practiced. This year we're going to wait just a little bit, but that won't be a big part of tomorrow. It'll be more about what we want to do and staying sharp.
Can we play the what-if game? Can we play the what-if game quick? What if you play in AC? What if you play at IPUI? Did you just hit on those two?
Two really different styles. IUPUI's got just a fantastic player that they can run their offense through, similar to a USD, similar to an Noah Roberts, and Nelson is really, really good. And then you have Northwest State, it's probably a little more motion-oriented, a little more equal opportunity. They need to use all 5 people on the floor. So really 2 different philosophies that we have to use to defend each one.
Anything else from Coach Johnson?
Thanks.
All right.